The Book of Ruth, Chapter 1, Naomi and Ruth. There was a famine in the land during the time of the judges, and a man from Bethlehem in Judah departed with his wife and 2 sons to sojourn in the country of Moab. The man was Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and his 2 sons Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem of Judah. A little later, after they had settled in Moab, Naomi's husband, Elimelech, died. She was left with her 2 sons, who married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After living in Moab for about 10 years, Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left bereft of her 2 sons and husband. Having heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had come to help his people by giving them food, Naomi and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home. So with her 2 daughters-in-law, she started out from Moab and took the road back to Judah. It was then that Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's house, and may the Lord be kind to you as you have been to your dead and to me. May he also grant each of you happiness in the home of another husband." She kissed them goodbye, but they wept aloud and said to her, "No, we shall go back with you and to your people." Naomi said, "Return home, my daughters. Why should you come with me when I have no more sons to become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. I am now too old to marry again. Even if I hope to have a husband tonight and give birth to sons, would you remain unmarried, waiting for them to grow up? No, my daughters, I will not share my lot with you, for it is too bitter. The Lord's hand had been raised against me." Again they sobbed and wept. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye and went back to her people, but Ruth clung to her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law has returned to her people and her gods. You too must return home with her." Ruth replied, "Do not ask me to leave you or to stop following you. For where you go, there I shall go. Where you live, there I shall live. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Let the Lord do so, and so to me, and worse evils as well, if anything but death separates me from you." Realizing that Ruth was determined to go with her, Naomi stopped urging her. So the 2 went on till they reached Bethlehem. Their arrival set the town astir. Women asked, "Can this be Naomi?" She said to them, "Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has made life bitter for me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi when the Lord has afflicted me, and the Almighty has brought me misfortune?" This was how Naomi returned from Moab with her Moabite daughter-in-law Ruth. They arrived in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was just beginning. Ruth chapter 2. Ruth gleans in the field of Boaz. Naomi had a well-to-do kinsman, Boaz, from the clan of her husband Elimelech. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to pick up the leftover grain in the field, whose owner will allow me that favor." Naomi said, "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went to glean in the fields behind the harvesters. It happened that the field she entered belonged to Boaz of the clan of Elimelech. When Boaz came from Bethlehem, he greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you." They returned the greeting. "The Lord bless you." Noticing Ruth, Boaz asked the foreman of his harvesters, "To whom does that young woman belong?" The foreman replied, "She is the Moabite who came back with Naomi from the country of Moab. She came this morning and asked leave to glean behind the harvesters. Since then she has been working without a moment's rest." Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, Do not go away from here to glean in anyone else's field. Stay here with my women servants. See where the harvesters are and follow behind. I have ordered the men not to molest you. They have filled some jars with water. Go there and drink when you are thirsty. Bowing down with her face to the ground, she exclaimed, Why have I, a foreigner, found such favor in your eyes that you should take notice of me? Boaz answered, I have been told all about you, what you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband's death, how you have come with her, leaving your own father and mother and homeland, to live with a people you knew nothing about before you came here. May the Lord reward you for this. May you receive full recompense from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge. Ruth said, May I prove worthy of your favor, my Lord. You have consoled your servants with your kind words, though I am not the equal to one of your maidservants. Boaz called her at mealtime. Come over, have some bread, and dip it in the sour wine. As she sat among the reapers, he handed her some roasted grain. She ate her fill and had some left over. When she rose to glean, Boaz instructed his men, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not scold her. And put some stalks from the bundles, leave them scattered for her to glean. She worked until evening, and when she threshed what she had gleaned, it amounted to about an ephah of barley. Ruth carried back to town the threshed barley which she showed to her mother-in-law. She also gave her what she had left over from lunch. Naomi asked her daughter-in-law, Where did you glean today? Where did you work? May the man who took notice of you be blessed. Ruth told her mother-in-law about the owner of the field where she had worked. His name is Boaz, she said. Naomi exclaimed, May the Lord bless him. God indeed is merciful both to the living and the dead. This man is a close relative of ours, one of our nearest kin with the right to redeem us. Ruth continued, He even told me to stay with his servants until they finish harvesting the grain. Naomi said, It will be better for you, my daughter, to go out with his maidservants than to go in some other field where harm might come to you. Ruth therefore stayed close to the maidservants of Boaz, gleaning until the end of the wheat and barley harvest, and she continued living with her mother-in-law. Psalm chapter 10. The Messiah, King and Priest. The Lord says to my Lord, Sit at my right hand while I make your foes your footstool. From Zion the Lord will extend your mighty scepter, and you will rule in the midst of your enemies. Yours has been the royal dignity from the day you were born, holy majesty from the womb, from the dawn of your youth. The Lord has sworn, and he will not take back his word. You are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. The Lord is at your right hand. He will crush kingdoms on his day of wrath. He will judge the nations, heaping up corpses, crushing the rulers of the earth. He will drink from the stream by the wayside. Therefore, he will lift up his head in triumph. Luke chapter 15, verse 11 to 32. The lost son. Jesus continued, There was a man with 2 sons. The younger said to his father, Give me my share of the estate. So the father divided his property between his 2 sons. Some days later, the younger son gathered all his belongings and started off for a distant land, where he squandered his wealth in loose living. Having spent everything, he was hard-pressed when a severe famine broke out in that land. So he hired himself out to a well-to-do citizen of that place and was sent to work on a pig farm. So famished was he that he longed to fill his stomach even with pig's food, but no one offered him anything. Finally, coming to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will get up and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son. Treat me then as one of your hired servants.' So he got up and set off for his father's house. He was still a long way off when his father caught sight of him. His father was so deeply moved with compassion that he ran out to meet him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him. The son said, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son.' But the father turned to his servants, 'Quick, bring out the finest robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Take the fattened calf and kill it. We shall celebrate and have a feast. For this son of mine was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is found.' And the celebration began. Meanwhile, the eldest son, who had been working in the fields, was now on his way home. As he neared the house, he heard the sound of music and dancing. He called one of the servants and asked what it was all about. The servant answered, 'Your brother has come home safe, and your father is so happy about it that he has ordered this celebration and killed the fattened calf.' The eldest son was so angry that he refused to go in. His father came out and pleaded with him, but he answered his father, 'Look, I have slaved for you all these years. Never have I disobeyed your orders. Yet you have never given me even a young goat to celebrate with my friends. Then when this son of yours returned after squandering your property with loose women, you killed the fattened calf for him.' The father answered, 'My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But this brother of yours was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is found, and for that we had to celebrate and rejoice.'"